All right.
Ready or not, here we are. We are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, senior recruiting editor for Auburn Live. All three, a little up in your face here. Today is Sunday, February the 18th, 2024. We return after a one-week hiatus in which we saw a Super Bowl football game.
We did.
And listen, tonight's show, because of that, it's going to be fantastic. You know why it's going to be fantastic? Because Cole will be here soon. And joining me now, Mr. Jhead. How about you, Mr. Jhead?
How about you, big dog? How's life been treating you since the last recruiting show?
You know what? This when you're in this profession, you got to take advantage of the downtime.
Yes.
And the dead period, this was perfect. And by the way, Jhead had a post about his suggestions for a recruiting calendar. I bless it. Listen, if it's too much for us, imagine what those coaches are going through.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, you're talking at minimum, or they get 21 days off in July, maybe 30. And then you get another 21 days off in February, and you are working year-round recruiting otherwise. And it's not like they're not making phone calls right now, right?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't stop. The transfer portal, all that was just too much. They're going to have to figure out a way to allow these people to live. And this goes for recruits too, man. I mean, these recruits' phones are getting blown up by all these coaches, by us. At some point, there's going to have to be wrangling it in a little bit. Speaking of wrangling it in, Mr. Cole Pinkston will join us shortly. He has been on assignment at the Under Armour camp in Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to join us here shortly. He's probably listening to us right now. Also, Jhead, before Emily calls in and starts bitching us out, Emily, Miss Pinkston.
That's true.
We are going to have a personal question of the week, a POW. The Q is silent. This week, we're going to know, she wants to know how everyone best their favorite way to eat an Oreo.
There is, and look, I'm going to be honest with you. When that one came across our group text, I was like, that is literally the perfect POW question. Like, because there's so many different ways, right? And you hit it on it. Milk supply is a big part of how do I eat my Oreo?
Well, one resolution, New Year's resolutions are all crashing right about now. Probably have been for a while. Lord help me here. Give me strength. But listen, if you want to shave your balls, I'm just going to go right into it, man. If you want to shave your balls, listen, forget the rest of New Year's resolution. It's never too late to level up your grooming game and keep your bush tamed. I'm not making this up, people. Tame that bush. We got a brand new sponsor for tonight's show, man. It's Manscaped. And I knew this was going to be difficult because I don't know how it will be received. But, man, we're all big fans of Manscaped. I promise you. It's never too late to level up your grooming game, keep that bush tamed. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean shaven look, this trimmer has you covered, trusted by over 10 million men worldwide. Now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with your exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code AuburnLive, all lowercase, one word, for 20% off plus free shipping. The ball has dropped, but don't drop the ball on your balls. Let me tell you something. They got the MVP of the 2024, the Manscaped 5th Generation Lawnmower. It's not just a trimmer, it's your grooming sidekick. It's got two skin-safe blade heads, standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to get that smooth. I don't know why I'm putting my face. I got a little 3-day-old shave. But it's like having a personal personal stylist at your fingertips. So a lot going on there. So don't forget, go get 20% off, free shipping with the promo code AuburnLive, all lowercase, all one word, at manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping. And Manscaped, your balls will thank you. And so will your lady.
Apparently so. And I tell you, look, you know you've made it when you do a Manscaped commercial. Okay, when you do a Manscaped reading, my man Cole Kubik does it. Pat McAfee does it. Jake Crane does it. Like, hey,
Everybody shaves their balls, huh?
That's right. You know what I mean? Like it's a necessary thing. And so I want you guys to know that we're able to do this endorsement because of you, the listeners. You are the byproduct of this. Welcome to the show if you're just now tuning in. But this was a big read for us. We appreciate you guys being a part of it and helping us keep a straight face while we do it.
Next week, personal question of the week: do you shave your balls?
Oh,
here's the thing. I think this is a millennial thing. I'm just kidding, by the way. I think this is kind of a millennial thing. Like I graduated in 1994 in high school,
right.
So the personal hygiene, even for ladies, were just kind of getting introduced back then. Like, I probably better stop. But you know what I mean? Grooming didn't come in until like early 90s. And so now it's kind of transitioned to the men, and they've got products for it. And if you do it, man, hit that manscaped.com and use the promo code Auburn Live for 20% off plus free shipping. You can't beat it. It's like a cute puppy. The landing strip. Over at Auburn Opelika Airport. Yeah. I drove around the landing strip today.
Hey, me too.
Lord have mercy. Appreciate Manscaped. Jessica said, I don't know how you're going to do that. Look how red my face is.
You are more of a man than me, Jeffrey Lee. Let me say it one more time. You are more of a man than me.
All right. So Jhead, Cole's going to join us shortly. Zach, let us know when we get some calls because we want to go right to the call lines when we do. But Cole's going to join us and talk about the Under Armour camp from Atlanta, and we want to hear from some of you. Last night, Auburn. My mom's calling me. I'm not kidding you. I hope she's not watching this show. What you doing shaving your balls? You know, people at church watch this show. I didn't say I did, Mom. All right. Auburn lost terribly to Kentucky last night. It was ugly. You couldn't throw it in the ocean. And it was listen, and this is what I said last night. Me and Caldwell were watching, and it's like Auburn's really, really good, or they're really, really bad. And it feels like the games that I watch, they're really bad. Like I watched the was it Alabama game? They looked, they're competitive, but last night against Kentucky was terrible. It was awful. It was guard plays bad, shooting's bad, and when you have bad guard play and bad shooting, you're not going to win many games. And that's just the way it's been for Auburn when they lose. All right. So while we wait on Cole, Zach, you got some phone calls?
Yeah, we got 5 people on the line.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it.
Awesome. We're going to start with Kevin from Wilmer. Kevin, you're live, man.
Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama.
How about you, Kevin? How you doing, big dog?
How you doing, Jeffrey Lee?
I'm doing great, man. Did you get Caleb straight on my phone the other night?
I don't know. I did not know him.
Yeah. He was messing with you. What's on your mind tonight, Kevin?
Bryce Kane, it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Bryce Kane. Did not know that, Kevin. You're breaking news right here.
18 years old.
Good.
I can't wait to see Cam Coleman and everybody play for Auburn this coming season.
I think you and a lot of folks, Kevin, there's reason to be optimistic. There's reason to be excited about this 2024 class. That's it completely changes the trajectory, at least of the talent on this roster, right? I mean, all these guys are just on paper so much better than what we're used to seeing Auburn bring in the past 10 years.
Hopefully we can beat Georgia next season.
That's going to be a tall order, Kevin, but that actually brings us to an interesting part of the show, because not only do we want to know how you like your Oreos, okay, and I do need you to answer that question for us, or how do you eat your Oreo, but the win-loss total. Vegas came out. It's at 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. The over-under,
Right.
7.5, yeah.
Where do you see us, Kevin? Do you think we're going to win more than 7.5, or do you think we're less? Do you think we're the over or the under? Where are you at, man?
I think we win 12 games.
Oh, Kevin's going undefeated, son. Kevin, what would you have said this past season? Were you as optimistic about this past season?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're 12-0 every year, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the way everybody should be. I do realize there are realistic people who seem to think that that's improbable, unlikely. But you got to have your faith in your team, Kevin. And I know you have it more than anybody.
Yeah. Our defense supposed to be real good next year.
Certainly a lot more improved, at least on paper, right? And you're getting DJ Durkin in there. You're getting Charles Kelly in there. You're getting Vontrell King-Williams. Got some new faces on that side of the football. Definitely got some new recruits. Got some guys transferring in. I think that's why I think every season the transfer portal, if it doesn't do anything else positive, I mean, for the fans or what, but it gives you some eagerness, some reason to be high. It's every year something different.
I would agree. I mean, I think it gives everybody kind of breathes life into the team, right?
Hope.
It gives you hope because you think, okay, I'm bringing in a veteran who's seen game action. Could they be the missing piece to give us, 2-3 more victories that we haven't been having, so that win total goes from 6 to maybe 9, maybe it goes to 10. Who knows? I tend to think Vegas got it right. I mean, it is to me, it's 7 or 8 wins. That's what you're looking at regular season wise, in my opinion. I mean, I think they hit the number right on the head. I'm leaning to the under right now, but I'm not completely sold Kentucky's going to be great. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the one you could get and get you to 8. And I just, by the end of this show, I'm going to have a prediction. I'm leaning under, but I'm talking myself into the over. I'm talking myself into that game. I can't see Oklahoma. Like, I can't see us beating them, even though it's our first game, Jordan Hare. I don't know. Zach, where are you at with it?
I had it at 8 right now, but I think that line is kind of perfect. And it's only because I do think we get Oklahoma at home, especially with them losing Gabriel. Not super confident at quarterback for them. And it's their first time coming into Jordan Hare. And we all know Auburn's beaten a lot of teams that they were not better than on paper just because of that environment. And I think Jordan Hare is going to be up for that one just because of the storyline around Oklahoma visiting. But I'll tell you, that road trip with Missouri and Kentucky back-to-back, you can't go 0-2 in that one. And in my opinion, Missouri's a loss right now. And that might be a bad loss because that team's going to be loaded next year, especially offensively, because Luther Burden has a strong case to be the best wide receiver in college football going into next year.
And you are breaking in an almost entirely new secondary.
Yeah.
So, Zach, you've got them at 8 wins. Is that including a bowl win?
That's his regular season.
So is the over-under regular season, or is it?
Yes. If it's bowl win, I'm over. Like,
okay.
If it's a bowl win, I'm definitely over. But my understanding is it's just regular season, so we're talking either 8-4, 7-5.
Okay. I'm looking at the schedule. We're going to spend more time on this, I'm sure. But I was going to run down it real quick. Alabama A&M is a win.
Yeah.
Cal at home, I'm guessing, is a win.
I got it as a W.
New Mexico, we think, is a win. Revenge game, right?
Well, that's New Mexico State. So this is New Mexico. This is the Lobos. We don't have to be scared of.
There are 2 of them?
There are 2 of them.
My bad.
Jerry Keel's not coaching this brand, so we're okay.
What about Arkansas at Auburn?
I like Auburn in that one. That's a W.
Okay. So you're 4-0. You lose to Oklahoma at home. You lose to Georgia on the road. You lose to Missouri on the road. You lost 3 in a row. Now you're 4-3 headed to Kentucky. You're 4-3 headed to Kentucky.
See, that's the one. That's
a toss-up.
That's the one to me that I don't know how that one's going to go. Like, is it okay? Mark Stoops, good football coach, but he gets more praise from the national guys for going 7-5 every year than any other coach I have ever seen. And it's Kentucky. I get it. I understand 7-5 is the gold standard for them.
Sure.
But they always have inexplicable losses on their schedule each and every year. And so I don't know, man. I'm just not sold that one's not a W at this point. Like, that's the one I'm having a hard time deciding. Okay, this is where we get to 8.
Okay,
especially with Cohen leaving too. Remember the last time Cohen left, their offense took a steep drop after Cohen left at offensive coordinator, and he just went to the Bucks. So do they still have that same offensive prowess that they had under Liam Cohen?
I don't think so. I mean, they brought in Boise State's offensive coordinator.
Now they do have Georgia's quarterback coming in, right?
They've got his backup. Trying to think, he's an Auburn legacy. What's the kid's name?
Oh, Vandergriff.
Yeah, Brock Vandergriff. So nobody really knows what Brock Vandergriff is at this point. He hasn't had any substantial playing time. I mean, I think everybody thinks he's got a decent skill set, not a decent, a good skill set, but he doesn't have any in-game action at this point. So he's kind of an unproven commodity by comparison to some of the other quarterbacks you'll see in this league.
So but we'll leave Kentucky off for right now. We'll come back to that. Vanderbilt's a win.
Yes.
ULM's a win.
Yes.
So that gets you to 6 wins. Now you got Kentucky, A&M, and Alabama. Can you get 2 of those?
See, that's the thing. I think you can get A&M at home. Like I believe, and I know that they brought in a lot in the portal, but they lost a ton to the portal. I mean, you lost a once-in-a-generation type wide receiver in Evan Stewart. You lost some freak shows off the defensive line. I mean, some absolute freak shows. I think they returned the kid from Miami that's an outside linebacker / defensive end for them, Stewart, I think. Not exactly sure on that one, but I'm just not sold that what they brought in is not very similar to what Auburn did last year, where you got some good pieces, but then you've got some mid in there too. And so I don't know how that's going to shake out for A&M in their first year. I mean, I think Mike Elko is a hell of a football coach, but the SEC is a grown man's league, and that's going to be really tough to do in year one for him, trying to get his hands around everything that he lost to the transfer portal.
I tell you what, until I see something more from the quarterback position, I've got to think that's an under. I'm taking the under right now.
Okay, and that's fair. I mean, I can see 7-5 on that schedule for sure.
Yeah, I think 6, and then I can't imagine Auburn. Here's the losses. I mean, Bama, that's a lot, at least on paper, right? I mean, we know anything can happen, but you're just looking at it objectively. Bama's a loss, Missouri's a loss, Georgia's a loss, Oklahoma's a loss. That's 4 losses right there. So unless Auburn goes undefeated in the other games, it's going to be under. And for the quarterback play, as far as I'm concerned, it's like guard play in basketball. If you're not having great quarterback play, or at least average quarterback play, you're not going to win some of those toss-up games. I didn't see Mr. CP join us.
How about you?
How about you, big dog?
Hey,
you missed our Manscaped ad.
Oh man, yeah, I got my Manscaped.
Did you?
For sure.
Have you been shaving your balls?
Oh boy, you really. I don't think you want to mix the Manscaped and the Bird Dogs together. Let's not do that, right?
Do we still have Kevin?
No.
See, Kevin's all talk. I mean, he's all business. He's all football.
That's right.
Jhead was like, "What about Oreos?" He goes, "Hey man, Cam called me big dog, like Bryce Kane. I don't. You worry about my Oreos later." But we did for Emily Cole. We're Oreo in it tonight. All right, Zach, get us back to the phone.
Let's see. We got Carter on the line. Carter, you're live, man.
Gentlemen, how's it going? Just wanted to call in and see if we have any updates on this linebacker board. I know y'all have talked about Christian Gass. I know y'all talked about Eric Winters, a little bit about old John Pettyjohn. Thank you, Jeffrey. And I just wanted to see if we have any updates on that. How many do y'all think we will take in this class? You think we'll go solely after Eric Winters as the inside backer and maybe go after Zion Grady and Christian Gass as your other edges on top of Jacaleb Falls, or something different? What do y'all think?
First of all, Carter,
yeah,
what's your favorite Oreo? How do you eat it?
I gotta go double stuff, man. I had a pack of double stuffs last night, and it was unbeatable.
But are you just eating it like a cookie? I mean, are you twisting off
No,
the top?
I'm putting that in milk.
There you go.
For how long?
Maybe
are you just
about
dunking it?
15 seconds.
For double stuff, you got to go a minimum 3 second Dunk, right?
I think we've been. But listen, for me, I put my milk in the freezer for about 5 minutes. I'm planning ahead, right? So I want my milk cold,
Yeah.
son. All right, and then I'm taking my Oreo, double stuff preferably, and I'm dunking it, 3/4 in, just where my fingertips are right above the milk, and I'm putting just a little bit of pressure, squeezing the two cookies parts together. I'm just a little bit of pressure, and so that when they release, it's ready.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Jeffrey eating Oreos like he's giving a prostate exam over there.
I'm shaving balls, giving prostate exams. Okay. First of all, John Pettyjohn nixed Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn did not make the cut for what was his name? Riley
Pettyjohn.
But Jhead thinks 3. Cole, what do you have? 3 more, Jhead?
Well, that's all right. So if we're just talking inside linebackers, I think you're taking 3 high school inside linebackers in this class. If you're kind of count outside guys, what does that number jump for you, Cole? Up to 5?
I say 2 inside, 2 outside. So outside meaning this could be your edge. Okay.
Caleb Falk being one.
Yeah. JJ Falk fits that. Christian Gass.
Zion Grady.
Yeah, Zion Grady, those guys. I do have a new name, Carter. Talked to him today, face to face, in Carrollton, Georgia.
Carrollton.
Yeah, it's called the Atlanta Camp. It's actually in Carrollton. It's at Carrollton High School, which is good heavens.
Really?
If you think Thompson's nice,
really,
yeah.
This place right here.
I thought something so close to Woodland, Alabama, would have the facilities to match Thompson.
Listen, they got like a military grade obstacle course outside for the football players. They got a sand pit.
Carrollton's badass.
I'm talking like a 30, 35 yard sand pit that they work out in. They got all that stuff, dude.
Are they good?
Their quarterback is Juju Lewis.
Yeah, but are they good?
Yes.
I assume they are.
Okay.
Very good.
Anyway, new linebacker, Carter, for everyone to track is Darrell or Daryl. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. Duke. He goes by Duke Johnson from Georgia. I can't remember where. Dodge County, Georgia. Dodge County High School. Told me today, hey, Auburn's top 4. Auburn is top 4. I'm going to take an OV to Auburn. I'm going to a spring practice. He was supposed to be on a visit mid-January. Didn't make it. We didn't think much of it, but he told me today it's because he got injured in a basketball game. He wasn't able to go.
I remember this guy. He was the one from Dodge County, wasn't he?
Yes, Dodge County. And because he couldn't make it to Auburn, Josh Aldridge, Auburn's linebackers coach, went to watch him in a basketball game, and he was telling me all about that today and how he loved it. Auburn's definitely in it. So top 4. I think Florida State, Miami, Georgia might be the rest of them. He's going to put out some kind of announcement, I think, on that and probably have a decision soon. Hey, a lot of these guys fixing to have a decision.
Daryl, man, that guy looks so familiar, Cole. Has he not ever been to Auburn?
We had him on a preliminary list.
Okay.
And he didn't make it because he got hurt in a basketball game. So
okay.
But he was real upset about that. Like it was a visit he was intended to make. He's going to make 2 more now. So I mean, really, out of nowhere, almost this guy's like you need to be watching this guy.
Yeah, and I know Florida State has some confidence with him, but I think you got to like the proximity to home with this young man as far as getting to Auburn and the need. I mean, we're losing 4 guys on the inside. You're losing what Mawasi, Steiner for sure. And then who's the kid from Virginia?
Well,
the one transferred from Duke. I mean, he transferred from North Carolina.
Yeah, Asante.
Yeah, Asante. And
you've lost Cam Riley recently, which was a veteran guy. So
exactly.
You're down a guy there.
Right. And so for me, and you may be estimating we're going to take some from the portal, which could altogether be the case.
I think you leave one spot open for the portal. So I'm saying 2 inside and then probably 2 edges is my guess.
I think that's smart. And realistically, we don't know how they view JJ Falk just yet. You know, I don't think there's been any clear delineation on where they see him, unless you've heard today, Cole.
I haven't, but I'll tell you what I know. He is JJ Falk is a Josh Aldridge guy. And if you've been following this news with all the changes, Josh Aldridge is going to be coaching edges and outside linebackers now. So I would say that JJ Falk's going to be with him.
I would think you're right. And to be honest, I've projected him there from day one. I think his skill set is perfect.
Looking at him today, he was in the linebacker group. He was by and far the biggest guy and one of the most athletic.
Wow, he's listed at 6'1", 205.
Who?
We talking about Gerald Johnson still?
JJ Falk.
JJ Falk.
Oh man, I was messaging with Zach. Sorry, Jessica says I never listen, but I do listen. I just don't hear.
Actually, Darrell Johnson, Duke Johnson, he's listed as an athlete. He's not listed as a linebacker. And that's the kind of player he is. You look at him, he just looks like he could be anything, receiver, linebacker, safety. He looks like all those things, which is today's linebacker. That's just what it is.
Sure.
I mean, think about Eric Winters. That's exactly what he looks like.
Eric Winters. Eric Winters could play receiver for Auburn, and he'd be all right. That's how good of an athlete he is.
All right, Zach. Good stuff, Carter.
Do y'all have any intel on Zion Grady?
Yes.
I've heard recently that we have struggled, and over time I've heard this as well, that we have struggled to make traction with him. And I what kind of chance do y'all think that Aldridge? I mean, we got to get such a spark like Riddick in this past class for 24. Like, I firmly believe in Aldridge. I just don't feel great about Zion.
So Zion Grady was in attendance at the Under Armour camp today. Talked to him briefly. I've never felt Auburn there. I even put in a prediction for Alabama. I put in a prediction for Alabama when he committed to Alabama. He's no longer committed to Alabama. With everything that happened. His guy at Auburn was actually Jeremy Garrett, and that hurt. What I would say what little chances Auburn had anyway hurt. I'm not saying it's over by any means, but it doesn't. I'm not feeling Auburn on that one. I think they got a long way to go.
Just keep in mind, Carter, as well as we do, man. Think about the guys that we were saying the same thing about a year ago at this time. We're not feeling this guy. Hell, he ends up, signing with Auburn. But more on, I think Jhead had a quick little write up on Zion today. He's got Georgia appears to be the team trending with Zion Grady. He was at Georgia in February, and we'll be back in Athens March the 12th. He's already locked in an official visit to Georgia for June. Of course, he also plans to visit Auburn and Alabama as well. Florida State's another contender. Ohio State also entered the race. So a lot going on with him. But I'm with you there, Cole. I think Jay has the same way. Right now it's not Auburn. It's for me.
Yeah. No, I don't have a lot of confidence there. And to be honest, I mean, I think the kid's a really good player. Is he a 5-star? I don't know. Not on my scale. I think he's borderline because I think he's going to struggle. I don't know that he has the elite quickness off the edge. And Cole, you saw him today to be an outside linebacker at the next level. I think he's going to have to grow into a 5-tech. Honestly, to match his athleticism to really be transformative on the field. Like I don't see him having that elite twitch coming off the edge, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're seeing something I'm not.
No, I looked at him today and almost thought, you might be an inside linebacker. You almost have that skill set. I'm kind of with you on the edge thing. He's a little bit undersized, and I mean that not because look, everybody's undersized at this point for the most part. You got to add weight to your frame. I think his frame is a little bit undersized to be an edge, if that makes sense. Now he's tall, but he's not a big guy. So I almost think, and he's fast. Now he's fast. Quick twitch and fast are two different things,
Completely.
He is twitchy a little bit, but he's not like this.
Jeff Holland.
Go look at Tyler Atkinson. Tyler Atkinson was the best player in the building today, and it was not close. Not close. I mean, nobody came within 100 yards of being as good as that guy today.
No kidding.
Cole, you were the first person to say that, like in the Auburn sphere and nationally speaking, the first one to say that, but you were not the last. There were other people that were there that said absolutely the same thing.
Listen, my first Under Armour camp on the job was 2 years ago at Denmark High School. It was in the rain, the pouring rain outside. We didn't have an indoor at that one. It was outside. I was holding an umbrella the whole time. Tyler Atkinson was an 8th grader, and he won MVP of that camp. And now he's a 2026 recruit, probably going to be the number 1 player in the country. I would be very surprised if he's not.
He's at number 14. If you'll remember, Cole, he visited Auburn right before the dead period, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. He came to 2 games this season, I think, as well, and mentioned Auburn today a lot in interviews. So Auburn's in the mix, and Josh Aldridge has, hitched his wagon here. This is his guy again, just like he did with DeMarcus Riddick and DJ Barber. Josh Aldridge does not have a big board. That's why when a new name pops up like Duke Johnson, who we talked to today, it's surprising sometimes because he ain't veering off from the top.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal when you add another name to his board.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tyler Atkinson, he goes to school where?
At Grayson.
Auburn just hired who?
Kenyatta Watkins Sr.
And he holds a lot of tea there.
He also grew up with Owen Papo. There's that too.
All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog. Appreciate you, Carter. Always a pleasure speaking and talking recruiting with you.
1295. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Good evening. Yes, my name is Jhead from Anniston, Alabama.
Jay Nut?
Jhead.
Boy, do I have the product just for you. Manscaped, your balls will thank you.
That's right. That's the reason I picked that name, because you did so good. What to do with Manscaped?
I can only imagine.
So we got Jhead and J Nut now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Got 2 questions. Coach Freeze had mentioned about the quarterback competition being open. And I hope he's holds to that and actually does an open camp, spring camp. Do you think if Peyton Thorne don't win the job that he'll hit the portal? And do you also think that Holden's going to hit the portal? Personally, I like Hank Brown for this year. I know just a little bit of what we've seen from him is what he played in the bowl game, but he just seems like he's a kid with a head on his shoulder that wants to do good. Peyton just seems like he don't care.
Yeah,
I think he's hit a ceiling, but if both of them hit the portal after the spring camp, if they don't win the job, then you're down to 2 quarterbacks. What do you do then?
J Nut, real quick, big dog. How you eat your Oreo?
Oh, I like peanut butter in the middle and dip it in chocolate milk.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
This might be revolutionary.
I think so.
Listen, the answers are endless to this. They really are. I mean,
Hold on, J Nut. Do you leave the white filling in, or do you buy the cream? Are there peanut butter filled Oreos?
Oh, there's an actually peanut butter Oreo.
And you dip it in chocolate milk.
It's peanut butter inside.
Now listen, do you use the store-bought chocolate milk, or do you use your Hershey's and make your own chocolate milk?
Nesquik.
No, I store-bought chocolate.
Interesting. Chocolate milk and peanut butter filled Oreos.
I'm in.
I am definitely putting that on my to-do list.
No, it's good.
Okay, back to J Nut's question. Jhead, you look like you had something to say. So go ahead.
do,
Quarterbacks.
But Jada, real quick, win-loss projection. Are you over or under 7.5?
I'm over, because I think we do beat Kentucky on the road. I don't think they going to be what they say they are, and I wouldn't be surprised if we beat Oklahoma at home, because the week before they played Tennessee.
That's true.
So
That's true.
they're gonna have a big matchup with Tennessee, and it depends on whether they win or lose on how they come into Jordan Hare. But you know, that's the game. That's the game we got circled on our calendar that we want to be at is Oklahoma to welcome them to the SEC on the road. So
Okay.
that's the way I see it.
As to your question on the quarterback situation, and then I want to get to Cole and Jeffrey real quick. No, I don't think Peyton Thorne's going to transfer because I think this quarterback battle is going to go all the way into the fall, which would make it incredibly hard for Peyton Thorne to make a decision in the spring and to hit the portal. Do I think it's possible that Holden hits the portal after spring? I do. I 100%. If he thinks he's getting passed by either Hank Brown or our true freshman, yeah, I think it's possible that Holden starts looking for a better fit for himself. Do I know that's going to happen 100%? I don't. Do I think it's possible? I do. And I think Auburn would probably dip into the portal to try to compensate and fill that hole. Like, I don't think they're going to roll into the season with just 3 quarterbacks, or at least that's not my gut feel in the situation. What do you guys think?
I think Auburn loses 1. But I don't think it's going to be Peyton. I was going to try something, man.
I don't think Auburn loses 1.
Okay.
I think they all stay. I'm with you. I think the battle, the competition will go into fall camp. But I don't think it's because they're trying to keep everybody. I just think it'll be like that. If it is truly an open competition, then it probably will.
That's my thought, Cole. And I think you would lose the team if you're saying it's an open competition and then 15 games in or 15 practices in, you're like, yep, that's the guy. Unless it's just like so clear to everybody that Peyton Thorne or whoever is head and shoulders above anybody else on the team. But you've got guys that haven't even gotten to campus yet, and Perry Thompson and other players that are going to be a factor in this passing game. And for you to make an assessment in spring, to me, I don't think is likely. I mean, I think you're going to carry it all the way. You're going to do spring install, you're going to install again over the summer, and then you're going to do fall install. And probably by the second scrimmage, you're going to make a decision as far as who you want as your starting quarterback, would be my guess. Now, that's me spitballing and speculating, but that's just kind of my gut feel in the situation.
Check this out, big dog.
Look at you.
This is a game changer, folks.
I know. This is some Zach level magic that he was pulling out for our National Signing Day show.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you're not too cool anymore, are you, big dog? All right, so how do I stop? Okay, cool. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Woo! Sorry. I get excited easily. All right, Jhead, was that good? I was.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
He's good.
Good call, J Nut, big dog.
Yeah,
Peanut
what?
butter, filled chocolate milk. Oh,
I'm in.
9413. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Stan from Cleveland.
There he
all
is.
right, big dog
Man.
Stan.
What's happening, gents?
Nothing much, Stan.
Yeah.
How about you?
Hey, do the Orioles with a cold glass of goat milk.
Straight
Goat
out the
milk.
teat, huh?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Goat's
that was
milk.
good.
Can you buy goat's milk?
Hey, yeah.
Or do you walk outside and dip your Oreo
I
in
want to find out in the backyard.
the straight off the teat.
I brought it back. I brought it back from Chambers County.
Oh.
Lafette.
Hey, in you had something a couple of weeks ago, and I had a question, but Jhead wasn't there, and I
Yep.
know he'd know the answer. But you talking about how you clean out your ears?
Yes.
Alabama fans use an air hose.
Blow right through there.
Just don't be on the other side, because if you are, it's gonna be a mess.
Mess up your hair, won't it?
It will. It will. I got a pretty good contact in Auburn, and we're talking about that kid that we wanted real bad that went to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Williams.
Said it cost him $2 million.
That cheap, huh?
I don't know that exact number to be true. I would tell you that it's probably in the realm of what it took. I mean, I think that's ballpark. But again, I can't confirm that exact number. But I don't think it's far off. Now, what I would tell you is that's probably structured over a series of year. I don't think it's $2 million per
Right.
year. I think
Over
that's
3.
Yeah, over 3, over 4, probably it's backloaded if I had to guess per year, where your installment's going to come at a certain time so that you're not jumping into the portal, so on and so forth. I mean, the way these deals are structured now, Stan, is for retention purposes, specifically if you're involving figures that high. So
Yeah.
it's ballpark. I mean, I think that's ballpark of probably the number that got tossed around.
All right. Let me ask you this. I want to watch the shows about, I saw Polkerson and other people, when they talk about people signing the NIL deal or talking about it, you can't do anything until you enroll at school. Is that correct?
That's a great question.
Depends on the state.
I was going to say, because you see some kids signing these.
So it depends on the state, Stan. So you have certain kids in certain states that can sign early. Like in the state of Missouri, you can go ahead and sign your NIL deal while you're in high school and you can already draw on your NIL privileges if you are signing with an in-state school. State of California, you can cut a deal at I think as early as 17, maybe 16, Zach. I know that was Nico's situation when he was able to strike his deal with Spire Sports, which is the Tennessee Volunteer Collective. So it's really contingent on the states, what they've moved forward, what legislation they have. Because right now, and I do need to make a correction. I made a statement a couple probably shows ago where I said, don't worry too much about the Tennessee Volunteer case because I don't think that it's necessarily going to shape the landscape. I was wrong. I did some more research on that, and obviously I've talked to people that are more knowledgeable of it than myself. Did they grant the injunction? I haven't seen an official ruling on that just yet, but they were asking for an injunction to strike down all NIL rules, all NCAA NIL rules. And if that were to come to pass, I mean, what's not on the table at that point? As far as what you can offer kids, when you can offer kids, can anything be used as an inducement, like everything? And when I talked to a recruiting staffer, they basically said that they were making up their own rules within the recruiting department, one court injunction at a time. You know what I mean? Like that was the response I got. So it's, it's wild right now. Now I need to do some research to see if they actually made a ruling. I think they were supposed to get something done last week, but I haven't seen anything publicized to this point. And typically something that large, you would have think there would have been a national news break or news release on that. So I will dig in on that one, but that's absolutely that. And the other case in California are the ones to truly watch.
Good stuff, Stan.
Like in Alabama, when can they sign?
Alabama is after they enroll.
Correct. The state of Alabama is structured after they enroll. Now, what happens? Let's be real here. What happens underneath the table is underneath the table, right?
Yeah. They're not waiting until they get paid until they enroll.
Right. And I'm not accusing that of being Alabama. I'm just saying recruiting in general, what happens underneath the table is underneath the table, and it's not reported. And that goes from about 20 to 25 different universities that are in that ballpark, that are in that game. I'm not trying to single out any one person.
Jhead, you're the first person that's been honest about that answer. Because other people, oh no. Well, it's like in the old days, when you had to get a new car. Or I had a friend of mine, I took him back to Auburn. I was on my way to Jacksonville State, and I dropped him off at the dorm in Auburn, and he was all upset because this guy from Florida had gotten a brand new Corvette. And I said, oh, yeah, this was back in the 70s. And I said, you didn't get it? He said, no. He said, all I got was a bunch of clothes. He said, but my mama got $600.
I mean, I think
in the day of the
the
table business.
I would be doing this podcast a disservice if I didn't pretend like under the table payments don't happen. Right. Now, again, I'm not going to make accusations about any one university doing it, but to say that there's not a market for that, that's crazy. Give Stephen Godfrey credit. I think he was on the cutting edge when he wrote his Bagman story some 20 years ago. And it was absolutely true then. It's absolutely true now. They're still bagmen. They're still part of it. I would say there's a much larger emphasis on the above board NIL deal. And it's easier from a tax break standpoint to get involved in that game, but they're still under the table recruiting, and it happens.
Stan's always got some good stuff, doesn't he?
He does.
He does.
Thanks, buddy. I need you. I'm gonna put you on hold because I got to go get some Oreos right now.
Appreciate you, Stan. Always a pleasure talking with you.
Have a good night, buddy.
All right, man. You too. We're gonna get to some more phone calls. Before we do, we're not letting Manscaped complete the whole show. You know, if we're looking in Auburn or Opelika, Lee County, Alabama, want to sell your home, looking to move here, well, look no further for the help you need. Miss Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. She is a 5-star realtor. If you don't believe us, just ask us. We'll tell you. She's a 5-star realtor all day long, even on Sundays. Trust me, all day today. My goodness. Yeah, give her a call, man. She can get find the house you're looking for, get rid of the one you no longer want. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, get us back to the phone line, Zach.
I believe this is Anthony from Montgomery, man. Anthony, you're live.
Get in here, big dog.
Fellas, Anthony from Montgomery.
All right.
Well,
Oreo lover. Are you an Oreo lover, Anthony?
Oh, we've been listening to the show. I've had it on speaker, and my wife heard. Y'all made me realize that I was married to a serial killer tonight.
Oh. She doesn't use milk on her Oreos?
That she asked me like how I eat it, and she said she take the Oreo, break it apart, take each side of the cookie, scrape the filling off. I mean, the filling out the middle, then eat just the cookie. I told her she's a serial killer.
Hey, Anthony, I got a good divorce attorney in Montgomery. I mean, she doesn't even eat the cream.
Ooh,
No, she said scrape it off and eat the cookie.
I don't want no dry cookie.
What's the
Man,
point
Right.
of Oreos?
What's the
then?
whole purpose of buying Oreo? I just take mine out the pack, man, and bite it, man. No special.
Okay. Hey, I'm okay with that. Sometimes that's the route I take.
I never go there ever.
If I'm in a hurry, dude, I ain't afraid to grab an Oreo. stuck
Here
in
it
there.
is. Here it is. Dip
All
it in the milk. This is, I mean, I'm a little different though. I'm usually the opposite of everybody, but in the milk, I wait till it gets soggy, and that's how I eat it. I don't want no crunch.
I'm okay with it.
I got to have a little crunch, man.
I mean, too. That's why, dude, Jhead, use the squeeze method, man.
Okay.
It will tell you when it's ready. Now, I will say this. I do like to drop one in at the very beginning because at the end, drinking that milk. Oh, yeah, baby.
No, like one of my roommates in college would eat his. He would put a fork in the middle of it,
Yeah.
and then dip it on the fork, and then eat it off the fork. It was
He was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time.
That's some next level.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Back in the day, I used to eat a whole sleeve at a time, but I don't do that anymore.
Cole, what time's Emily calling in?
I know, right?
Yeah.
She's ain't over here right now. I'm gonna text her.
yeah, we got to hear her opinion. This was her question. So, Emily, if you were listening, call in. Come on, Miss Pink. We got to hear how you eat the Oreo.
All right, Anthony, let's talk some football, big dog. I know you got some good stuff for us.
Hey, next week the question should be, what food do everybody love that you do not hate, that you hate, that you don't eat? The food you talk about next week.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a
That
good
is
one.
a very good one. What food does people love that you just let me think on that. That'd be good.
I probably have several. Cinnamon. That was
same.
my one.
Dude, I had
Oh yeah, for
cinnamon
the
squares.
over under, I'm going 8-9 with a bowl win.
Okay. I hear you, Anthony.
We got to beat Oklahoma. We beat Oklahoma because Jackson Arnold not coming to Jordan Hare his first road game and beating us. We're not losing to that guy
That's-
that's a sophomore. We're really a true freshman. He's gonna lose. Jordan Hare alone gonna win us that game. It might be by 3. It might be like a 2017 game, but we're not losing that.
Okay. You can pass Oklahoma. You're 5-0.
Now I will say this: Oklahoma's defense has been suspect since Venables came back. Now, look, it was suspect well before he got there. I mean, it's not like Lincoln Riley was the, you know what I mean, like the gold standard as it pertains to defenses. But that's going to be interesting. Like how improved is that defense coming into JHS? Because you're right, this will be Jackson Arnold's first road test, Anthony. And he didn't look fantastic in their bowl game this year. But again, he gets a full spring, full fall camp. He's the guy. I'll be interested to see how he looks.
That's why I say that's why I say we win it, because I feel like with that against that defense, we can run the ball, control the clock, and he haven't showed that he can push the ball down the field. And I don't think on the road you talking about, because our secondary would be a little suspect, but I feel like we can run the ball against them and control the clock. That's why I said like a 2017 game.
Their defense was terrible.
We got to beat. If we don't beat Oklahoma, we're not getting paid. But anyway, question of the night. I want you guys' opinion. Zach, I want you to jump in here on this one because I want your opinion on this one too. What do y'all prefer? Would you prefer a coach that excellent recruiter that can get that 5-star in, but he is here, let's say, below average coach, as in on X and O's on the board, as in you don't know if he gonna get that guy to his full potential? Or would you rather have a coach that not that good on the trails in recruiting, but can draw it up on the chalkboard, that can get his hand in the dirt and show you, bring in that 3-star, but he can turn that 3-star to a first rounder? Which coach would you prefer?
Whoever wins.
I don't think option 2 can survive today anymore.
I'm with you, Cole. I mean, look, option 1 is Mario Cristobal. I mean, I think Anthony described him to a T, and it just depends on the coordinators that you put around that guy. It ultimately does.
Option two cannot survive at Auburn.
Now, that's true, but in a different league.
Hey, not with this roster, he can't.
No, Auburn won't give him enough time.
Because where was Michigan at this past year as far as national recruiting rankings? Top 20 for sure.
Yeah, I think they were top 15 at least, right?
But Harbaugh's probably the guy that's done, from an evaluation standpoint and a development standpoint, he's probably the gold standard right now, I would think, being able to maximize both ends. Because he's taken some 3-star guys. I mean, I think he had a transfer from UMass on his team this past year that was just insane as a corner.
I'd say Dabo's in that category. He's a good recruiter from high school. He's not messing around with the portal at all, but I'd say he develops his players really well. And their season didn't start the way they wanted it to, but they finished pretty well this past season. And he's still alive.
He's still alive.
This was 2023, by the way.
Yeah, number 18th, right?
One spot below Auburn.
Right. I mean, and I think he's consistently kind of been in that 10 to 20 bracket. And then to go and win a national championship, and not just win a national championship, but you beat up Ohio State again, you beat Alabama, and then you beat Washington, who didn't have the same talent as Michigan. I don't think Washington's recruited inside the top 25 in like the last 5 years. And if they did, it was when Chris Peterson was there.
Yeah, because
go ahead, Zach.
With option 2, I think of a guy like a Kalen DeBoer too, who isn't recruiting at a top 5 level, but I'll take him over Jimbo Fisher and Mario Cristobal all day. Okay. I don't care about winning signing day. I care about winning games in the fall. So
that's what I was saying.
Me, I'm option 2 because I'm not. He did in your example. You didn't say he was a bad recruiter. He's just not an elite recruiter. You can hire elite recruiters for your staff. I need a coach who can win games in the fall, and my staff can carry me through signing day. Is how I look at it. Because if you're turning 3-stars into first-round NFL draft picks, at the end of the day, we're going to be winning games in the fall regardless.
See, I got to go with the elite recruiter as head coach because Nick Saban, he's the best combination.
Are you saying like we're hiring a head coach? These are your 2 options. Which one do you want to hire? Or is it would you
like position coach? Like what made me ask this question on the board they was having the, when they was at the Jake Thornton. I feel like he's a great developer. Like he's a decent recruiter, but I feel like he went to the portal, and even at Ole Miss, he showed that he can get them to do what they need to do. He haven't pulled in the 5-star left tackle or that 4-star big guard, but the film shows that he can coach and get them to play and do what they're supposed to do. That's what made me ask this question, because I feel like Jake Thornton he can turn a 3-star into a 3-year starter in the SEC. That would make me ask this question, really.
Give me a developmental offensive line coach. I take him all day. Okay, because that is O-line is the most developmental position on the field. It's the most unnatural. It's the most technical, where you have to be the most technical sound, in my opinion. I mean, look, you need to be technically sound at most positions, but to me, offensive line is where if you're not technically sound, you will get beat, and it will show up very quickly. So give me the X's and O's. I mean, not the X's and O's 3-star, coach them up on the offensive line coach. At other positions, at premium spots, wide receiver coach, I need the recruiter, man. Yeah. I need the guy that can go get dudes, because I just think the talent level.
Same for DB. I mean, it's natural, right? You either have it or you don't.
Right.
Whereas offensive line, great coaching can make the biggest difference. If you look at Hugh Null, came to my mind. Like, he was an elite, believe it or not. He was an elite offensive line coach, technician, and took Ben Grubbs and guys.
Defensive lineman. Took defensive lineman and converted them into offensive lineman and got them drafted. Ben Grubbs was a first-round draft pick to the New Orleans Saints.
2-star Tyrone.
Green.
Tyrone.
Yeah.
The San Diego Chargers played for many years in the NFL. Now, when he was talking about X's and O game day coaches, Tuberville came to my mind. Tuberville wasn't an elite recruiter, but he won. He won with these guys he developed. He had the coaches around him you had Joe Witt coaching up the linebackers, these 6-foot, 200-pound linebackers.
I still think about Merrill Johnson to this day, running around trying to knock people out.
Merrill Johnson. Colbert County, Merrill Johnson, I believe, right?
That's right. Cole, you haven't weighed in yet. Who do you like? What would you, as a position coach for offensive line, and then let's go head coach. Because for me, head coach, it's got to be an elite recruiter. You look at Saban, Smart, the guys that have continuously won national championships, elite recruiters, in my opinion, and they've surrounded themselves with good staffs. But go ahead, Cole. What do you think, position coach versus head coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, Saban and Smart are not just – I mean, they're everything.
They are. They're the complete
total package. I don't know. The jury's still out on Hugh Freeze for me.
Sure.
I think the jury's out on everyone with how different things are now. I think the jury's totally out on everyone now. Kirby Smart, he's rising above it because he is the total package. He's having no problem.
Fair.
Jim Harbaugh, that to me is the outlier that was needed, because you got guys on our board like 5-star who it's so technical down to the star. Like, if you get 18 5-stars and not 19, you're not winning this game.
Right.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So Jim Harbaugh sort of, hit that in the face this year. And Dabo Swinney did it, in recent years. So it can be done. It's not like you have to have the perfect recruiting class. You just got to have enough.
You got to have enough.
To me,
go ahead.
What Hugh Freeze showed in year one was the ability to, when we feel like he was calling the game, take a team that was overmatched against Georgia and Alabama and just about beat them. That should give you hope. I mean, if you're looking for something to go into this season and go, yeah, Auburn's got a shot. That's it for me. I'm looking at those two games and going, now, how did they do that? Because I don't really believe in coincidences. I really don't.
The one thing I will say for Dabo, yes, he kind of busted that profile a little bit, but he had elite quarterbacks. I mean, when you're talking, Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson is your trigger man, and you see they've fallen off since those guys are no longer there as well.
What else was elite on his teams?
Defensive line.
The line.
Defensive line. Yeah. I mean, when they got stars, they got them at premium positions. And so I think he was able to bring in, I mean, because you saw he was able to stock it up with some 3 stars at running back and wide receiver and a couple other spots, but he had big time defensive lines and quarterbacks. And that's when he won his national championships. And so if you're going to go that route, to me, if you're Auburn, you have to emulate what he was able to do in those situations where you get elite quarterbacks and elite defensive lines. And then you hope that, you develop the rest to go along with it.
All right, good stuff there. Oh, A-Town from M-Town.
I believe this is Emily calling in. Mrs. Pink.
Get here when you can, big dog.
Sorry.
She's shy.
Is she really?
She doesn't need to be.
No, I couldn't hear y'all there. It dropped me the first time I called.
Well,
so,
you didn't get the message then, huh?
She's keeping a 2-year-old, so we'll cut her a little slack.
You got to look, if she's multitasking in that way, she's balancing a 2-year-old and calling in to talk about how she prefers her Oreos. Miss Pink, you have the floor. You have my devout attention. I want to hear it. Let's go.
How do I like to eat an Oreo?
That's what we're wondering.
It's going to be.
So
it's going to be out
I
there.
think also it depends on the mood, of course.
Okay.
But I think my favorite way is going to be just eat the Oreo by itself and enjoy like the crunch of the Oreo and the chocolate, and then wash it down with a little milk.
Okay. I'll allow it.
And then other mood would definitely have to be the dunk.
The dunk. And how long you dunking?
Are we talking off-brand Oreo or like real Oreo?
I told you. It's about to get real technical.
Hold on. You got off-brand Oreos?
Listen. Yes, because that's what they sell at Aldi's.
Oh, Jessica, you and Jessica. My good. Y'all, that stupid
All in on a
store. All right,
Look.
Aldi.
Or Walmart.
Emily, you can't be cheaping on the Oreos, man. You can stop at Dollar General and get you some Oreos.
Probably not, but I think I'm going to be in the minority here. I like the off-brand Oreo better.
Yeah, I told
Cole, I told you I had that attorney down there if you needed
it. How y'all think I can think outside the box sometimes? I learned it from her.
Oh my God. What do they call it? Like Boreos? Like what's the
chocolate cookie crackers. Hey,
Hey, Daddy.
Hang on. I think we got some.
Let me see them. All right, Emily. So how long you dunking? How long you dunking the real stuff?
Probably about 3 seconds.
1, 2.
Maybe a good, just enough to get it like soft but not soggy.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's the perfect combination. Look at them. Okay.
Like I don't want to see it floating around in the milk.
Okay. Original chocolate sandwich cookies with vanilla filling.
Yeah, baby. These are the good ones.
Look, in my house, if it doesn't say best yet on it, it's not a real thing. Okay. So I hear you on that.
Great value.
Great value, big dog.
Really?
Listen, in my house growing up, there were 5 kids working off, living off my dad's salary. I thought great value was the best thing available, man.
Oh.
Like if it didn't say great value, I wasn't going to eat it.
Oh,
like
that was the bougie stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Walmart brand.
If you haven't tried the off-brand Captain Crunch, you're missing out.
Jessica buys the boys that. It's like
the berries and crunch.
Captain Berries or something. Berries and Crunch. There you go.
Yep.
We got some of that too. I can pull that out.
She's all about some
Just
Aldi.
to make sure that there's milk left in the fridge. We can, have Oreos and cereal.
Yeah, I'm bad about that now. I'll tear up.
A good question of the week will be: what's one product at the store that you guys will not buy off-brand that you have brand loyalty to?
Emily?
Mayonnaise.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I can't buy off-brand mayonnaise.
What else?
Yeah.
Oh, mayonnaise.
Yeah.
What? Are you a Duke's? Hellman's?
Gotta be Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jessica's the same way. She's a Duke girl.
I'm Dukes or Hellman's. Like that doesn't matter to me.
Nah,
but
me
like,
neither.
yeah, like, but Miracle Whip. Like,
Oh
yeah,
no, that
yeah,
fake shit. No.
you know, or like the Great Value mayonnaise. Like that, there's nothing
Or-
that tastes this grosser to me than like congealed off-brand mayonnaise, right? Like that's just
me and
Thin mayonnaise.
yes.
me and
Ugh.
Emily, we have a rule at the Pinkston house where, if you ever get in a tight spot with money or whatever, it happens. Everybody goes through it.
Sure.
Of course.
But you never get cheap toilet paper. Don't do
for
it.
sure.
That was the one. That and paper towels.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Coles is also, he's not gonna stray from Tabasco. Like that's
No,
his
never.
hot sauce.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Never.
Can't
I'm a
stray from
Crystal
that.
man.
That's got to be it.
Here, let me show you one more thing while we're at it.
Louisiana's hot sauce. We need
See,
that's
now listen, there's different things that I like different. Like I want Tabasco on like my oysters. I want Crystal on my pizza. I want there's the little wooden knob Mexican hot sauce I put on my chicken.
yes.
It starts with a C, I think.
That's the next endorsement we get. We need an NIL deal with hot sauce. That's where we need to be.
Yeah.
What's Cole getting?
Ooh.
I'm still working
You
on
have
this.
got to be kidding me.
That's outrageous.
That's a jug, son.
Dude, that's
a
Costco.
gallon.
That's got to be
water
Costco.
I hope
a
you
gallon.
pick that thing up because it's been sitting in there for about a year.
Hey Cole, when you get finished with that jug, I got something else we can put in there.
All right. I'm gonna have to clean it about 2 or 3 times.
Shit, that thing's clean right now.
Oh, no doubt.
That's what the inside of your colon looks like. All right, Emily, you did a great job tonight.
Yes,
All
good
right,
job.
glad I could help. Sorry, it wasn't football knowledge.
That's all right.
I'll leave that to y'all.
Much more important.
Bye, Coleman.
I sent him to the other room. You didn't want to hear that craziness.
Best part of the show tonight.
That's right. Good
So we
stuff.
have-
Good stuff.
Thank you, Emily. Good contribution to the show. Do we have anybody?
Yes. A perfect follow up. I believe this is our guy Edward.
Hey.
What's going on, fellas?
Edward.
Why are you so low?
What's up, big dog?
What'd you say, Cole?
I just said Edward.
You sound a
Bring
little depressed tonight, big dog.
Oh man, yeah, just one of them days, man. Lost my best friend, childhood, man. My cousin, my first cousin, my brother. Shit.
Dang.
Edward, I'm sorry, man.
Fan,
Very sorry.
Just last night and shit, man. Only person in the world I pretty much talked to on the telephone, like. So, just been kind of down, but I still decided to call in tonight.
Well, that's what we're here for, big dog.
Man, been a rough day, man. Somebody that I say like, gee, we the first 2 Auburn fans in my family for real. So,
What was his name, Edward?
Carchetti Blackman.
What was the best things about him?
Best thing about him, man, just a good guy. You know what I mean? Just a guy that, hey, I could tell my deepest secrets to him, and I never heard it. Like somebody that shit. I talked on the phone to Jay Lee every day, like shit, every day, man. We talk every day. So
Was it sudden? Was it?
he had been had some health issues, but the way he went, yeah, it was kind of sudden. I got a call yesterday morning that he was on life support. That, I got a call back again last night about 11. He was gone. So I say I hadn't talked to him in about a week, which I knew something was wrong, and I had been trying to call, but no answer. But it was rough, man. But back to the question Anthony had asked. The coach won. In this day and age, coach one won't be your coach long.
That's the next one.
Get a
We
guy that
agree.
can go get recruit, but he can't coach. At Jimbo Fisher, #1 recruiting class ever at the time, and even with a down near $100 million contract, that was Coach 1 right there. So,
True story.
Day and age, much money you got tied up into, getting the recruits. When the guy just say he heard Ryan Wiesman around $2 million, probably close to that ballpark. You can't afford to have a coach that can go get talent like that and tie that kind of money up into him, and she can't win. Because I take Coach 2 every day, all day. Because if Coach 1 can get the talent, but they're not playing to 5-star level, then what do you really got? In my opinion, you can get a 5-star, but if he playing 2-star on a 2-3-star level, give me the guy that they can take a 3-star and turn him into a superstar.
Yeah, I don't know that #1 exists.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher.
But who would in this scenario, like if you're signing all this top talent and you're not winning, you're not an option to be a head coach. If
you won't be an option, you won't be where you at for long.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that coach exists in this scenario. Like who signs all this top talent, doesn't win enough, and then gets to be an option to be a coach elsewhere.
Mario Cristobal.
Mario Cristobal.
Probably pretty much shot for a while. You can go back and be a coordinator or something somewhere, but I like the coach too. And the over-under 7.5. Here's my thoughts on this. To me, it all depends on who your quarterback is.
I agree.
Because 7.5, if you don't go over 7.5 and you start Peyton Thorne, this season was a failure. That's my opinion. You got 8 games in Jordan Hare Stadium. Man, there ain't no need for you to go. To me personally, 7 win with one of the young guys, I live with that. I take that. 7 win with be a 4th-year starter. No, that's not acceptable. And I think we need 8 wins, because I think another 6-win season. I mean, we all know how the people in Auburn is. After the last 3 losses that they had at the end of the season, shit, you can't come out and lay an egg and you done changed coaching staffs. You done brought in all this talent. Man, you got to find a way to win, man. Yeah. There's no excuses. I don't care. They're young. You got to find a way to. They might not know the whole playbook. Just run a few plays that you can run. You got to find a way to win ball games this year, or we'll be talking about the over and under of Hugh Freeze tenure at Auburn 3.5. That's what it's gonna be, because it'll be a hot seat, man. His seat will be warm going into his 3rd year, and that ain't what he want to do. If you come out and win anything under 7 wins, 6 wins, shit, they're gonna be rumblings and mumblings, man. And hey, the regular average fan got a lot of say so these days, believe it or not, because guess what? These people putting their hard-earned money in the NIL, so that ain't what you want to do. You got to come out and win. Yep. The fact that we talking about a loss automatically to Georgia and Alabama before the season even started, man, that ain't Auburn. That ain't the Auburn I know, man. We got
not yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we gonna automatically lose to Georgia and Alabama before the season starts. Alabama without Nick Saban even in Tuscaloosa. People already chalking it up as a loss.
I think it being in Tuscaloosa, Edward, is the hard part for most people to think about.
That's the thing, Jhead. If we're going to be an elite program, we got to be able to go on the road and win. If we can't.
And now, here's the thing. You're not there yet.
If all we wanted was 7 wins and lose in Tuscaloosa, we could have just kept going.
I mean, agreed completely. I think we're on a different scale as it pertains to Hugh Freeze as far as expectation. Yeah. And I think you're saying the same thing.
I'm saying in 2 years.
I'm expecting a win.
I'm not saying this year, but after his 3rd year, there are no excuses. I don't expect him to win more than 8 games this year. I know the rebuild job he has. So the next time Auburn goes to Tuscaloosa, there should be nobody preseason chalking that up as a loss. Auburn should then be in a position to compete and win in every game. Yes. So my question to you, you're talking about losing with a young quarterback. So we've all said this. Year 3 of Hugh Freeze's tenure at Auburn is 2025. That home schedule is even more. That's the first year I expect Auburn to be competing for 9 to 10 wins, competing in and then every year after that. I expect Auburn to be back on an elite plateau in 2025, the first step. So if that, and does anybody disagree with that?
No.
His third year, you're expecting a lot.
And I will only say, and Edward was right in this, as far as how frustrated Auburn fans are. I'm going to recap for you the last 4 years of Auburn football. So since 2019, when we won 9 games and then had a chance at 10, but lost to Minnesota because we came unprepared. The next year we go 6-4. The following year, 6-5. The following year 6-7. So 6-7. The next year 5-7. And then 6-7 again this year.
Wow.
That is the last 4 years of Auburn football.
Wow.
And so you're seeing Auburn fans at a different level of frustration than you have ever seen, probably since, I don't know, probably prior to Pat Dye, because you've just been on a run of mediocre, inconsistent play. I mean, it truly has been absolutely frustrating to watch. I do think people, when you take that into account, realize this is another building year for Hugh Freeze. But I'm with Edward. You need to win. It either needs to be 7 with a younger quarterback or 8+ with Peyton Thorne at the helm.
Completely agree. Absolutely.
Because you need to see something substantial on the field to give you hope moving forward that this is not just going to be more Gus Malzahn or what it was with Harsin. And I don't think that it is. And to be honest, Gus had his high moments too.
Sure.
I mean, I think we'll all agree 2013, still goes down as one of the best seasons in Auburn football history. And he had other good seasons. I mean, he had the year that 2017 was a good year when they went to the SEC championship game. But Edward, what's your prediction? I mean, I know what you expect. What's your actual prediction for this year?
My realistic prediction, I see 8 wins on this schedule, man. Shit, I had 7 to 8 wins. I gave away 2 wins last year.
Yeah,
that's true.
Improve. I should have better coaching. I gave away a New Mexico State win. I gave away an Alabama win.
True.
I had a chance against a Georgia. I had a chance against an Ole Miss. So if we truly headed in the right direction and, we got everything figured out on the offensive side of the ball, Hugh calling the plays, we should have better coaching. I think Durkin, to me, Roberts was a damn good defensive coordinator, but I still feel like Durkin is an upgrade from Roberts. If improved quarterback play, I don't see how 6 wins, 7 wins, that's kind of my baseline for what I'm looking at, but I see a path to at least 8 wins. It's there, man.
I agree.
You had 6 wins on a team with poor quarterback play, wide receiver couldn't get separation. Basically, like Cole said, you basically ran a service academy offense, so, defensively, you had some deficiencies on your defensive line in some spot. At times the linebacker play wasn't the best, but I think, all things should be improved next year. But my last thing, man, y'all, I'm with y'all on them Oreos. You got to dunk the Oreo in the milk and hold it.
There you go.
And you want to drink that milk,
Now,
Oreo stuff even fell to the bottom of the cup. But if I haven't heard anybody say they like their Oreos. This is my favorite way or your second favorite way. Man, you got to go. I know a lot of people like cookies and cream ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go buy you some Bluebell homemade vanilla with the double stuff. Put 5 double stuff in a bowl with the bluebells and crunch them up yourself. I've been eating it like that 20-some years.
Edward, I hear you. And I want to introduce something else here because I want to know y'all's stance on this. Fried Oreos. Where are y'all at with it?
I'm a virgin.
I'm with you, Cole. It's thumbs up for me. Edward, where you at?
I love them. I had some at the Selma Jubilee, Bridge Crossing Jubilee last year for the first time. My daughter wanted some, and man, those fried Oreo with the sprinkle powdered sugar on the top. Oh my
Yeah, that's
God.
good stuff.
Yes,
So
sir.
I should try them, huh?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that should be on the to-do list there, Jeffrey.
Yeah, add that one. Go ahead and mark it down.
Well, Edward, we appreciate you calling in, big dog. Appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Y'all guys taking time talking with me, man. You
Yeah.
know how much is really appreciated and how much, more importantly, is really needed, man. I
Good.
appreciate y'all guys, man. Y'all have a good night, man.
Appreciate
you,
you, big
big
dog.
Yeah,
We're
love
gonna
you,
be
big dog.
We're gonna be thinking about you.
Definitely.
All right. One more, Zach. You guys lined up for a closer.
1406. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Josh Corbett from Birmingham. How y'all tonight?
What's up, Josh Corbett?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much.
You eat an Oreo?
Yeah, I'm in the boat with you. You get the mega stuff, then you take the fork and put it in the cream and dunk the whole Oreo so your fingers don't get wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And then you just eat it straight off the fork.
Mega stuff. That's the first one of the night, and I'm not gonna argue with it, man.
And I'm dunking for like 10 seconds.
Okay, you're mushy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's on your mind tonight, Josh?
So with the over/under, I'm going to go over, and I'm going to say there's two games that are pivotal to that over, and they're not going to be the two that people normally think. I think it's Tuscaloosa. You got a first-year head coach. First-year head coaches in the SEC normally don't do that well. I think Hugh needs that as a signature win in year 2 to boost this team to 8 or more wins. And then the other one is Missouri on the road. We saw Missouri last year be kind of a surprise team. Now, I do think they take a step back defensively after losing that whole defensive staff over there, but they are still going to be a team to watch out for in the SEC.
That's a good one. Because Missouri's a wild card.
It's a question for y'all tonight. The two guys we just brought in for off the field roles, the OC from Jack State and the guy from Atlanta. How do y'all see those two playing out? And then give me a freshman standout for 2024 on offense, defense, and special teams.
Great question.
All right. So Maurice, appreciate you, Josh.
Maybe
Maurice Harris.
Some insight on Maurice Harris. Jeffrey,
Kenyatta
watch. Maurice Harris was probably going to be on that first Hugh Freeze staff, I think. Actually, I'm almost positive that was going to happen. He ends up getting the OC. He gets the OC job. I mean, he wasn't going to be the OC at Auburn. Okay. He got the OC job at Jackson State. Anybody would take that just because. I mean, look, you know, being a coordinator in today's college football world is a lot better. It just is. And it's a step up. This is what I would call a comfort hire. This Maurice Harris, I don't know his track record all that well. All I know is that Hugh Freeze adores that guy.
Yeah.
Adores him. I mean, that's like a best friend to him in a way. So he brought him on, and good. You want your head coach to be comfortable. I think that's a very important hire for that reason. And then y'all could probably speak more on Kenyatta.
So, with Hugh Freeze being involved in the offense, I mean, calling the plays, not calling the plays, being the offensive coordinator, whatever his role is going to be, right? Like I don't want to get in trouble here by saying something I shouldn't as it pertains to Derek Nix's contract. But I think it was important for him to put people on the off the field staff that can handle parts of recruiting for him, that he knows what they're going to do, what they're about, and the evaluation aspect of making sure that kids are the right culture fit. Now, what I will say is that there are 3 legs to a recruiting operation. You have the evaluation side, you have the hospitality side, which is your hostesses or your player host for the actual official visit, things like that. And then you have your communicators, which are your recruiters. You lost a big one of those in Trevon Reed. You come back and you double up with Maurice Harris, who is a trusted recruiter by Hugh Freeze, who's landed some really big kids over at Ole Miss for him. He trusts his evaluation. Not that he's going to be doing a lot of that. It's more of the communication. And then you bring in a guy who's got elite ties to the Atlanta area in Kenyatta Watson, former Boston College player and wide receiver. His son obviously was a fantastic player himself at Grayson High School. He was the director of recruiting, I think, for Grayson High School, moved on to Florida State in a recruiting role, then to Georgia Tech as director of scouting, and now here at Auburn. But if you look at the composition of Auburn's football staff, you have a lot of ties to a lot of different parts of the country, but no one with elite ties to the city of Atlanta or really kind of throughout the state of Georgia. Kenyatta Watson is him. Okay, to steal a line from Coach Prime, he's him. Okay, you're talking about a guy that's been setting up Under Armour camps, a guy that's been involved in the high school scene as a high school head coach, a guy that has an extensive Rolodex. And yes, I'm dating myself, Cole, but an extensive Rolodex with different contacts.
Him and Charles Kelly combined, man.
I'm telling you, I mean that's a lot there, but a guy that is going to be able to get you in the door. So what you want from your communicators and your recruiters is a guy that understands the landscape, knows who to talk to, who the play caller is in that recruitment, and can form a relationship with the mom, dad, the 7-on coach, whoever it is. He's that guy in Georgia for you, and it was a fantastic pickup. If you had to lose Trevon, bringing in these 2 guys makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, and I think they were really good hires.
A lot of mentions about Trevon Reed today from the Auburn targets I talked to when asking them, how's everything going with Auburn? What's the latest? Well, lost our guy, T. Reed. So he was well liked, man. And I think you've replaced, and it's nothing against T. Reed. He made a move up. Good for him. You got to replace something good with something good, right? I think they did it.
Yeah.
But I would argue, Jhead, that the hospitality side, Auburn's as good as anybody in the country when it comes to that.
I agree.
Don't forget Will Redmond. That dude, I met him, in the complex. That is he's an underrated hire, in my opinion.
I don't think he's underrated. I mean, I think he is a top-notch hire. The thing that Will's going to have on his plate that's going to be a little bit new for him, he was the director of player personnel at LSU. Now he's going to be in charge of the entire operation, not just the evaluation side of it, but everything's going to fall to him. So everybody in that department, I think he's up to the challenge. I think he is just really going to be a superstar in this profession. If he's not already, I think he was director of player personnel of the year for Football Scoop, which they don't just hand that award out to anybody. But he probably will get to do less of the evaluation work of what he's kind of cut his teeth at doing and more of overseeing everything. And in addition to that, also knowing from an NIL standpoint who you got on the book for as far as your money and what it's tied up in, all the other moving pieces to the business side of the house that we don't really even think about sometimes. So I think he's just a massive hire for Hugh Freeze.
And real quick, Jeffrey, I'm sorry. And I know these terms, like all these, director, player, that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. I can break it down for you maybe a little more simpler. Will Redmond allows Hugh Freeze to get in his playbook more and call the plays where he's not having to be at a press conference and say, "Oh, I wasn't really involved this week. I had to recruit."
Would you say Will Redmond is a kind of a Patrick Suddas type?
Very much so.
See, Patrick Suddas, for all you don't know, he was a DPP at Auburn under Gus. He was fantastic. He was one of the best DPPs I've seen in Auburn. He's now, I think, the general manager at North Carolina.
That's correct, under Mac Brown.
And he is He's very intellectual. He knows what he's doing. He knows the tricks of the trades. He knows how to run a recruiting department. And Will Redmond reminds me very much of a younger Patrick Suddas.
I think that's an outstanding comp, Jeffrey. Here's the thing, and I'm with you, Cole. he does 100% allow Hugh Freeze. I mean, it's like he takes things off his plate, very similar to say how Austin Thomas was doing it for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, right?
Yep.
Very similar situation. Building a recruiting apparatus that it can match or surpass what was been going on across the state and in Athens, that is a massively tall task. Hugh Freeze is still going to have to be very involved in that. But you're right. He does take the day-to-day off his plate, and I think it allows him to be much more involved in what's going to happen in the offensive meeting rooms. That said, this is the tough part about being a head coach right now. Being tied in with your boosters is a bigger deal than it ever has been, in that they are bankrolling your team. And either you have NIL or you don't. And if you don't have NIL, you're not getting players. I don't give a damn how good of a recruiter you are. All right. Recruiters will get the number down for you to where you only have to be ballpark. You don't have to be the top number, but you got to have NIL, man. And Hugh Freeze is still going to have to be extremely involved on that front from the fundraising standpoint. So these coordinators are going to have to be able to take something off his plate as well. He can't all be him for sure.
You cannot be anti-politics and be an SEC head coach.
Negative. You're right.
It's unfortunate because politics can get nasty, but and maybe that's not the right word. It's just hospitable, really. I mean, you just got to be nice with everybody, and you got to
schmooze.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say that. Just don't shut anyone out. Does that make sense? Because if you tell them that they're not a part of this, then what are they going to do with their money? But
Very
there's
true.
a fine line to where you go, all right, now this is where I make the decision.
And that's probably the difference in between Nick Saban and Hugh Freeze at this juncture. Nick Saban had probably the resume to come in and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm either going to do it my way or I'm not doing it.
Leave me alone.
Right. Because I've won national championships.
You know how you get to that point?
You win one.
You win.
Win multiple.
Just win, Just win, baby. And then everybody leaves you alone.
It seemingly would happen. You pay the money, I'll win the games. You know what? For a off-season dead period, we had a fantastic show.
Yes. Really did.
Maybe it was the hiatus.
Could be. Or maybe it was just Cole getting that recruiting interest started again today. You know what? We got to give him a shout out for his hard work in Atlanta and then beating it back to get here to the show.
Absolutely. We will go more in depth on that on our recruiting show Wednesday. So y'all look for that to drop. If you haven't already, subscribe to Auburn Live on 3 and our YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button, hit the likes, get notifications turned on, because we'll have a more in-depth recruiting show on Wednesday. And then we plan on being back next Sunday night and for the foreseeable future. A lot going on. The over and under was a great topic of discussion.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
I missed it, but give me 7 right now.
That's where we are. I think that's what we all agreed on, wasn't it?
I think Zach and I went 8. You guys went 7.
Okay.
That number
because
is subject to change. Obviously, I'm watching that closely, but 7 as of today.
Yeah, because I think Jhead had Kentucky, and Jay Lee didn't, and I had Oklahoma, but Jay Lee didn't. So that's kind of the one game difference. Is me and Jhead think we're going to get one of those.
Yep.
And I just haven't seen Cole. My only hesitation is I haven't seen the quarterback play that I think is enough to just get over the top there. So, but that could change after the first week. Well, fantastic show. We had some really good callers tonight. We had some really good callers. Hey, how about you to Edward? Man, let me tell you something. Yes. Edward, you mean a lot to us, buddy. Appreciate. I never met you, but I feel like you're my brother.
I've met you, and I'm telling you, he is the same man on the call-in show as he is in person. And y'all need to go get a plate from him.
I'm gonna say I'm ready to be invited to the barbecue. I feel like I've earned.
I mean, he's wheeling and dealing some plates now. I'm fixing to ride over Selma get me one.
Where you down? Was it in Selma when you saw him? Derek Smith, maybe.
Yeah, me and everyone hung out the whole game, man.
All right.
But for those of you that are also a part of our board that are watching the show tonight, somebody start a thread. Thoughts and prayers with you, Edward. And
absolutely.
I hope that I hope your friend's in a better place.
Kevin got us started. Big dog Kevin got us started. Carter has some good stuff on the linebackers. Oh, J Nut with his peanut butter stuffed Oreos.
That's good.
Stan calling in from Anniston. Anthony from Montgomery. Good talking points as always. Mr. Edward, Mr. Josh Corbett ended it. And of course, Emily, of course, was the easy MVP tonight.
There you go.
Easy
MVP.
We'll let her think. We'll let her think that anyway.
I hope she didn't see my Manscaped ad.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Hey, Emily, just for the record, Cole has one. He got one.
She
of
called
these
me.
too.
She called me the other day. She goes, "What did you order from Manscaped?" I was like, "That would be Jeffrey Lee."
Shavy balls. Oh my God. My mom's already calling me again. All right, folks, that's going to do it tonight. We'll be back Wednesday for the recruiting show. We'll be back next week for another call-in show. We love you. We thank you. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For Jhead, for Zach in the back who came to the front, and Cole who showed up when he could. We appreciate you, man. Y'all stay out of that left lane. See you.